Hi everyone, Tara here. I promised you that I would share the story of my cancer journey. So this is part one. I'm going to break it up into a couple of parts, probably three, because it spans 25 years. So that's a lot of time. I don't want to bore you with a super long video, but if you want to watch them back to back, that's up to you. Anyway, this is part one. And it all really starts back when I was 17. I was a senior in high school. It was the fall of 1996. And I woke up one morning and had a bad feeling, like I had had a bad dream. But when I thought about it, I really couldn't remember a particular visual dream like normal. All I could remember were 5 pieces of information. That 22 years old, before I graduated from college, left chest area, something unusual for a young person to have, and something that I could die from. I thought that was all kind of really weird. Went on, with my day, figuring that this feeling would pass. Still felt it in the evening. It's like, well, once I go to sleep, my brain will reset and I'll be fine in the morning. Well, I wasn't fine in the morning. I woke up the next day feeling that doom and gloom feeling just the same as I had the day before. At this point, I was starting to get worried. Didn't know exactly what this meant. I didn't really tell anybody about it because, how do you explain this? Wasn't exactly sure how anybody could help me anyway. So went on about my day, went through my school day, had play practice in the afternoon, and the director wasn't there. It was unusual for her not to be there, so we're trying to entertain ourselves, waiting for her to come and get us started. So one of the girls went around doing palm readings. As a good Christian girl, I was like, I don't believe in that. I'm not going to do that. And there was a little voice in the back of my head that said, maybe it'll make you feel better. So, okay, maybe it'll help with this doom and gloom feeling. So I went up to her, stuck out my hand, and she said, you're going to die at a young age for something unusual for a young person to have. Did not make me feel better. So the director ended up canceling practice. I went home and I just cried out to God and said, I don't want to die young. I want to live a full life. I want to have children and get married. I want to experience all these things in life here on earth. And immediately there was peace, a peace like I cannot explain, a peace like I have never felt before that. Or, I feel some of it like when I'm worshiping, but really it was so intense. I held my breath because I didn't want to break that feeling. I didn't want it to go away, even though I knew it would. And so while I'm there just enjoying that feeling of peace, there was a voice inside my head that said, you need to remember that this actually happened. Of course it happened. I'm experiencing it right now. And it's like, as soon as I'm like, well, of course, then it was like a curtain or a door was open and a noisy background was let in. And there was another voice that said, that didn't really just happen. That was just your emotions or your imagination or whatever. And I couldn't believe how easy it was to believe that other voice, which I am assuming is the devil, trying to take me away from the work that God had done when it literally had just happened and it was so real, so tangible. But I remembered what that other voice had said and I said, no, this actually happened. I'm not going to forget about it. Thinking I had triumphed, have victory, everything is good, we're going to move on, right? No, then the devil said, well, God didn't promise that you were going to live. Oh, yeah, God didn't really say anything to me, but he did give me peace, and that is a message in and of itself. So I told the devil, you're right, he didn't say that I would live, but he did say I'd be okay. And with that spiritual realm kind of closed. And I know this all sounds very weird. I'm a kind of a skeptical person. And if this didn't actually happen to me, I'm Not sure how much I believe of it myself. But I went on with my life, kind of put that situation behind me, figuring that God had taken care of it, and maybe I had avoided the trajectory that my life was on by crying out to him. I didn't really think about it again until I was in my 5th year of college. I made my minor my major, so I had 2 majors, and included in that was a semester-long internship. So I needed a 5th year. End of September, October, I found a lump. Was officially diagnosed in November of 2001, and realized that this was all coming to fruition, that I was 22. It was before I graduated from college. It was my left breast. It was something very unusual for a young person to have, and it was something that I could die from. What was most amazing to me was that my oncologist, I hadn't met him before this point, and I never told him my story. He still doesn't know it. But when my mom and I were meeting with him, he said, you know, for the tumor to be this size, it's probably been growing for about 5 years. The fall of 1996 to the fall of 2001 was 5 years. So God told me at the very time that this cancer started growing in me, he gave me a warning. He knew exactly what was happening in my body, and he reached out to me. I'm not sure why me versus someone else. I have no idea, but I know that I have a testimony and I need to share it. So I appreciate your time. I will continue my story with part 2. So hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you can be notified when I post that one as well. Thank you.